I did a video just before this one. It was the ascent and descent to the Eisenhower Tunnel westbound. Poor westbound just always gets forgotten about. So speed limit is 60. Why not? I usually will probably tow it at 55 just because we're going to run into semis overheating, campers overheating. But you know, I'll set it in probably about, hell with it. Let's just set it at 65, see what happens. I wouldn't normally tow at that, but why not? So hopefully you've already subscribed, guys, to the channel. We started the climb at 8:35. That's the top of the ramp, so 8:35. All right, so we'll see how long it takes us to get up there. We'll see if the transmission works any temperatures. But back to what I was saying, hopefully you guys have all subscribed. This is going to be a several-part series where we do a long actual run out of Denver up to Silverthorne and back, pulling almost 13,000. And I think that for most people, that's what they're going to be in or under. I mean, most of the guys that are out there making their videos about their HO, the new most powerful diesel Power Stroke that's ever been made. Actually, it's the most powerful current one right now. They're towing like 8,000-9,000, and they're like, man, the truck did well. Yeah, it should do fantastic. I mean, that's not even breaking a sweat for that truck. But keeping in mind, you know, these gassers for 23 are ranked up in around the 20,000 pound range. So, I mean, it's pretty awesome that gassers are, with gearing and stuff like that, they're getting to those ranges. So, I'm definitely tickled with that. But I think once you push over 20, in between 20 and 30, you'll just have to, obviously the gas will reach its limit. I think 22,000 is for its limit. But nonetheless, I think between 20 and 30, you'll have to make a corporate decision as to what makes the most sense for you when it comes to diesel or gas. And obviously once you go past the 25 mark, you know, the gassers are really no longer in that range. You're obviously looking diesel, but then you're probably in a commercial range anyway. And so you're going to be like one of these truckers over here like me normally. You're going to be doing that. So ambient temp is 43, 226 is what the transmission. Again, I will do an average over the entire trip. At no point has the transmission gotten in the red. Brakes coming down, got to 250, 265 coming down. But I'll find the spec on that and see what Ford says is the melting point of those. But they weren't hot. They didn't smell hot. It wasn't a big deal. So definitely got some pretty scenery up here. Past that truck. Now we'll get ourselves back over in a slow lane. Again, one thing I'd recommend, guys, when you're driving in the mountains or anything like that, is set yourself up for your next obstacle. Meaning, if you see a truck up in the right lane and you're gaining on it fairly quickly, you can do one of two things. You can slow down and lose your momentum, or there's two other lanes here. We can use that middle lane there to bump over and pass. But make sure you give yourself plenty of leeway. If there's a car kind of coming up and you're cruising up on the car you need to pass, go ahead and take that middle lane ahead of time. There's no reason to wait till you're up on the butt of another vehicle where you have to then, you know, have to freaking slam on your brakes. Then you lose all your momentum. Then your vehicle's going to work harder to get where it's at. So just plan your success when you're driving. So we got a couple trucks up there. We're gonna come up them quick. They're doing like 35. Let me look over here in the mirror. We can see I got a car there. So I'm going to take this lane because I know that Yahoo is going to speed till he gets next to me or close to me. That he's going to slow down. So, man, the roads are trash here in Colorado, especially on this road. It's just horrible. So, again, we're not hitting 5. We haven't hit 5 yet. And it hasn't maintained or dropped that speed. Now, one thing I've noticed versus the Ford versus the Chevy is the Ford will give me 5 to 8 miles per an hour over or under before it kicks in and does its thing, whether it gears down or whether it kicks down a gear and tries to give me more juice. Versus the Chevy wants to keep me right there, period, the whole time. And so I think that's something that's kind of been standard in the past is, you get 5-6 miles, before the truck decides what it's going to do. So I'm okay with that. It's just something to note that's different. So that kind of drives you nuts. But I mean, so far temperature's been in check. So not a big deal there. Getting close. Again, I'm using cruise control. I try and, keep the jostling of the camera down to the minimal, but my gosh, I could be riding in a Maybach in these roads to make this camera jiggle. All right, so we are at the tunnel. So I'm gonna call it as soon as we reach up here at the light sign, not the light itself. So we're gonna say 8:43.